Hi, everyone, and welcome. I know most of you already, but for those I don't know, my name is Felicia Rubenstein. I'm the founder and CEO of HAYVN. We also have our team here tonight, Kathy, Britt, Malou, Samantha, and Teresa. I hope you are as excited as I am for our sixth HAYVN Hatch and our second virtual hatch. HAYVN, as you all know, is the co-working space geared towards women supporting, inspiring, and collaborating with other women regardless of where they are in their personal and professional journey. And HAYVN Hatch is just one of many of the events that we host here to do just that. Tonight, it's about highlighting and supporting female entrepreneurs. With that, I'm going to turn this over to Kendra Farn, who has her own video production company here in Fairfield County. And Kendra actually produced all of HAYVN's videos. As a former television reporter and anchor, she knows how to keep a program going. With that, I'm going to turn this over to Kendra.
Here we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight. This is our sixth HAYVN Hatch. I hope everyone at home has their glass of wine, your cup of tea, your seltzer, whatever makes you happy, brings you to your happy place, because we have a lot of fun and a lot of inspiration for tonight. Back in July, we went virtual with our fifth HAYVN Hatch for the very first time. And actually, we didn't have any technical difficulties. I think that was the thing. We jinxed ourselves. And we would, of course, prefer to be in person with you right here in Darien, which is where I am at HAYVN on Post Road. But it was a huge success. It still has all of the energy, all of the fun, all of the inspiration that we all love about the HAYVN Hatches. So we're really psyched that you guys are all joining us tonight. We have about 100 of you in the house. So we were sold out and we're super excited about that. We had 25 applications to pitch tonight. So choosing the 5 women, the 5 female entrepreneurs that we have tonight was not an easy task. And these businesses are amazing. They're all very different. They're all very, interesting, and they're really going to be inspirational. You're going to love them. We think that you're going to have a lot of questions. We're not sure we're going to get to them all. And as a female founder and entrepreneur myself, I can tell you, as we all know, any feedback that you get, good, bad, or indifferent, is always really helpful when you're trying to launch or grow your business. So if you all in the audience have any questions for any of these 5 women pitching tonight and we don't get to answer them, we really, really encourage you to reach out to them tomorrow through their website. You'll have all their information. We just kindly ask that you don't solicit them. Okay, what I want everyone to know tonight, all of your optional contributions, and they were optional, but you guys were so generous, are going to support Kids Helping Kids. And Kids Helping Kids is a Fairfield County based organization that has inspired over 5,000 students from 132 schools right here in Connecticut to participate in what are really youth-led service projects in their communities. Middle and high school students themselves actually create these projects, and to date they've impacted 65,000 underserved kids right here in Connecticut. And all of your contributions, optional contributions tonight, we've raised over $500 that will go straight to Kids Helping Kids. So we want to thank everyone at home in the audience for helping us with that. We want to give a shout out tonight to our sponsors, realist sponsors, Venture Mom and PGARM Productions, which is me. So that's not awkward at all, thanking myself, but there's that. Hatch is a joint venture among 4 women-led companies. And it's really a collaboration that comes from what we know is our passion in helping women-led businesses and really a desire to support them in any way we can. And that's really what Felicia was thinking when she actually created HAYVN Hatch. So we hope you guys get all that out of tonight as well. Every HAYVN Hatch is a reunion of sorts. And in the house tonight, those are all our past presenters. Tonight, we want to talk about the 5 who are in the house and give a shout out to, let's see, Virginia from Cobblecord, Shay from Ebration and Jeff, Hanan from My Hot Hoods, Anne from Livestream Digital, and Anitra from Emergent Access. So they are all in the house, and we thank you guys for coming back and supporting the Hatch. All right, here's how it's going to go tonight, everyone. There will be 1 winner and one runner-up, and they will be voted on by judges. And you're looking at our judges right there on the screen. The winner and the runner-up will both win a version of a HAYVN support package for their business, and we'll be detailing those a little bit later when they're actually presented. And speaking of our wonderful judges, we'd like them to take a minute, if they would, to introduce themselves. And Molly O'Shea, we'd love to start with you. Take it away.
Wonderful. Thank you, Kendra. And thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to meet everyone tonight and learn more about your companies. So a little bit on me. I've been an investor for a couple of years now. I work at New York Life Ventures currently, so we invest in pretty stage agnostic. So we'll do anything from pre-seed to Series C, Series D of financing. And that can look like anywhere between a $500K check to a $5 million check in a pretty sizable round. So we invest into enterprise SaaS, and prior to New York Life Ventures, I worked at Trailmix Ventures, which was an early stage firm focused on consumer and enterprise in the future of living well, so a little bit more of a wellness spin there. And then before that, I was at another enterprise SaaS firm. So a lot of great experience across stages, and again, very excited for tonight.
Awesome, thank you. Molly Young, Molly and Molly.
Hi, can everyone hear me? Okay.
Yep.
Hi, I'm Molly Young. I'm thrilled to be here this evening to hear from these 5 women and these 5 companies. This is so exciting. I'm a financial advisor at Ellevest. Ellevest is a financial services company built for women by women. We offer both digital portfolios and investment advice, as well as one-on-one relationships with financial advisors like myself to help men and women. We don't discriminate, even though we're a very female-focused firm, but we help them invest with more confidence. Our mission is really focused on getting more money in the hands of women and helping women feel more confident and in control of their own financial well-being. We also give our clients the opportunity to invest with impact. So oftentimes that means investing in women-led businesses or women-founded companies. And while we are based in New York City, I kind of handle all of the Connecticut and Northeast clientele that we have. And it is just really wonderful to be working with so many women as clients, and to also see a lot of really interesting companies that come through our door too.
Awesome. Molly, thank you. No, definitely not least, but Harold, you're up.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Harold Hughes. I'm a fellow founder. I'm the founder and CEO of Bandwagon. We are an identity and data analytics company. We help live event organizers and experience creators better understand their audience on the day of the event. Our goal really is to help elevate the experience of fans everywhere, whether that's Broadway, whether that's a sporting event, or your favorite artist performing at a festival. And so as a B2B SaaS founder, I definitely have some experience in some of the areas that the women are going to be presenting from tonight. So I'm super excited as a mission that supports a lot of that. I'm also an angel investor that invests in women, people of color, and Black founders, normally early stage. And the goal here is for me to kind of find ways to help support you all. I'm also a member of Women at Austin's board of directors, a nonprofit that's focused on helping women get the resources and relationships to grow their business. And with that, we've recently launched the Beam Angel Network. So you can look that up. It's BEAM Angel Network. And our goal there is just providing access to capital for female founders based in Texas, but the funders can be from anywhere. So super excited to be part of this event to help invest in the fastest growing segment of entrepreneurship in our country. I appreciate it.
Harold, thank you. Boy, do we need more Harold Hughes in the world, huh? Supporting female businesses. Thank you, Harold. Okay, let's get to the pitches, everyone. Each female, here's how it's going to work. If it's your first hatch, we want you to know each female founder is going to have a total of 7 minutes. That's 3 minutes for their actual presentation, and that will be timed by Holly Hurd, a venture mom, and she will be giving you each just one warning, and that will be a 20-second warning, and then you're done. After your 3-minute presentation, you will get a 4-minute question and answer period, and those questions will come from both the judges and the audience, and Marie Roca will be handling that. Now the audience, here's what we ask of you. Please, if you have any questions for the presenters, we ask that you put it down there in the Q&A, either while they're presenting or just as they're finishing up, because once we move on to the next presenter, we will not be able to go back to those questions. And that's again why we encourage you tomorrow to shoot some emails to all these presenters to ask your questions and give them your feedback. So that's all we ask. Presenters, it is in your best interest to answer the questions quickly so that you can get more of them in, right? Sounds logical. All right, off to the pitches we go. We are going to go in alphabetical order, and we will start with Fire Ox and Zoe.
Can everyone hear me?
Yep.
See me? Good.
Yep.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Zoe Geller. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Fire Ox Foods. Fire Ox was really born out of my personal passion for sustainable food and helping people eat well. Next slide. So I got into this one right after college when I was in AmeriCorps. I was helping kids, learn where how food grows, where it comes from. And then I went on to be an early employee at a local food distributor startup called Common Market. And I really became passionate about improving the food system while I was there. And at Fire Ox today, I manage the sales and marketing and fundraising. And Jason Yang, my co-founder, he has a lot of experience in consulting and finance, and he manages our ops and finance. Next slide. So what do we make? We make a line of amazing, I was just talking to a fresh direct buyer the other day, and they're incredibly impressed by our meals. So not only do we love them, we also have retail buyers and other buyers and consumers that really love our products. So they are delicious, vegetable-based, frozen meals that really focus on flavor, vegetables, and the brand. So our brand is differentiated in the fact that it stands for sustainable food and food that comes from the earth, like real food. And you can see that in our packaging on the shelf, as you can see here. And I don't know if you can see it up close if you like as well. Next slide, please. So as some of you know, many consumers are looking to eat more plant-based food, right? They're looking for healthier options, but they're also looking for easier options, right? Especially now during the pandemic. So they're looking to the frozen aisle for these easy entrees. So, and we see this in the growth of the frozen vegan entree category in 2017 was nearly 15%. And it's a really huge market. It's $36 billion market for frozen prepared foods. And we're only at 1% market penetration for vegan frozen entrees specifically. So there's a ton of room for additional growth here. Next slide, please. So what have we done so far? We've been at this for a few years now. And this is a new brand, actually, we launched just in June. This brand is significantly improved in terms of the packaging design as well as the taste of our products. And we've come out with 5 of them. So we expanded our portfolio from 3 products to 5. And like I said, significantly improved the taste of our products based on feedback. And we've produced over 7,000 meals in partnership with a professional co-packer, which has enabled us to reduce our costs significantly and make more money on each meal sold. And also
20 seconds
of our products. What?
20 seconds.
Okay. We have traction in 25 natural food stores, Wesleyan, Yale University, and we're also in talks with 2 distributors, McMahon's Farms and Rainforest, to expand retail distribution in the New York City area. Next slide, please. And our next steps are to focus on expanding that retail distribution geographically, implementing digital and on-shelf marketing to get people to try our products and rebuy, and launching our online store beta, which we're doing this week, actually. So thank you so much for your time, and I appreciate any questions you have.
All right, Zoe, thank you very much. We have 4 minutes now for some question and answer, and Marie Roca is going to ask of the judges and the audience. Take it away, Marie.
Great. So thank you for presenting. The first question, we're going to go to the audience. It's from Jennifer Bentley. I'm curious if you also address the gluten-free market or have plans to.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yes, all of our meals are gluten-free. They're not certified because that it's an additional cost to us, but we may become certified in the future.
Our next question will go to one of our judges. I don't know which one of you want to go first, but feel free to unmute and ask your question.
Ollie, do you want to go ahead since you were off mute?
Oh, thank you, Harold. I would love that. How do you, they're all frozen meals, right? How do you freeze them and kind of ensure that it's going to still have all the right nutritional components? I'm not an expert in the food industry in any way, but I just know that's kind of a concern sometimes in what, recooking fresh foods.
Sure. Yeah. So actually frozen food has the same or more nutrition than fresh foods, because often fresh foods are transported across the country and aren't picked when they're ripe. And so the exposure to air and light kind of degrades nutrients. So freezing it actually locks in the nutrients. The co-packer takes care of maintaining the frozen chain. So making sure that the product is made, it's immediately frozen, and that it is put onto an LTL distributor that keeps it frozen, so keeps it safe and high quality.
I have a quick question. When you think about the traction that you noted for the 25 stores, what does that mean as far as sales? Are you tracking inventory turns in the locations that you're in? Or are you direct to consumer in some case and tracking, return buyers?
Sure. Yeah. So we track by per SKU per store per week. And under our previous brands, we were doing 2 to 3 per SKU per store per week. And now we're doing more. And I don't have the exact numbers because we just launched in June, and it depends on the account, but on average it's higher. It's probably 3 to 4. But I don't want to quote that because we don't have the data on hand. But in terms of revenues, we've had over $40,000 in sales under our previous brands, Zoni and Plentiful. And this is the new version of that.
Great.
Does that make sense?
I think so. So then do you have any sales under this current brand since June that you care to share?
Yes. I don't have the exact number, but it's about 10,000 with the Yale order, which was a substantial order.
Thank you.
Thank you. Molly, do you have a question?
Yeah, so I would actually love to learn more about your brand strategy here in terms of consumer packaged goods and food in general, HelloFresh, Freshly, the works in that, and even Daily Harvest, they've really driven with their brand. So I would love to understand what your strategy is there. If it relates to any partnerships, future products, how you're thinking about that. Yeah, so our vision is to make delicious vegetable-based food accessible to all. So we're not just limited to meals. So we're thinking about like all sorts of different products. We also have a veggie burger product that we're not selling currently. And then in terms of the brand strategy, the brand, actually the name is inspired by a book my ancestor wrote about his travels around the world. So it's authentic in that our meals are inspired by these cuisines from around the world. Like our Masaman coconut curry and our mushroom oat risotto and our braised Ethiopian greens. So it's really about like these authentic cuisines that that's giving inspiration to our meals that are focused on flavor. And then it's also about sustainability, and no one is doing that in the frozen foods and like the frozen meal space specifically in retail. Like Daily Harvest, their positioning is a bit different. But yeah, in terms of the sustainability, just one point on that, like our carton is actually made with 100% recycled paper, and it's recyclable because it's not.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. You're well over time. So sorry about that. But there are a ton of questions on the Q&A. If you'd like to answer them, please do privately if that's feasible to you. And anyone who has questions who want to follow up with Zoe, please feel free to do so as well. You can find her at fireoxfoods.com. Thank you.
Thank you.
Perfect. Zoe, that was fantastic. Thank you. All right, up next, mini Mealtimes with Marie. Take it away, Marie. I think she's there. You there, Marie?
Can everyone hear me?
There you are. Yes.
Here I am. Okay, I'm going to restart my timer. Hello, so my name is Marie Farmer and I'm the founder of Mini Mealtimes, a family nutrition app that aims to work like a dietitian in every parent's pocket to make mealtimes easier. And our vision is to positively impact the rates of adolescent nutrition globally. And so, next slide, please. So I had this problem because I have a child and I was so focused on making sure his nutrition was perfectly balanced. You know, I was the typical first-time parent. And I realized there's millions of me across the world. But I also realized through countless hours of research that nutrition labels on food packaging are not calculated for the most part for children. They're calculated for the adult male. So for children whose nutritional needs change constantly, this is really confusing for parents. And it means, and it has contributed to the record levels of obesity and malnutrition across the country. There are other people and companies who are also working on this problem, but they are expensive and generic and judgmental, which doesn't actually solve the problem. Next slide, please. So how are we doing it? We've decided to create an app, and I'll talk about my team in a minute. And we have created an algorithm that generates reliable nutrition reports for parents. When they scan a product or type in an ingredient, it creates recommendations specific to their child, which allows parents to get a much more accurate idea about their children's nutritional needs and health and eating habits. Next slide, please. So our revenue model is pretty simple. We want to do a freemium version because we want to make nutrition labels accessible to everyone. So the bulk of the app will be free, but we are planning to introduce additional features in the coming months that will be behind a paywall. But we're really excited because our early users seem to really love the app and they're very honest with their feedback about what they like and what they don't like. And so early indicators say that we're onto a winner. Next slide, please. Our team is made up of a bunch of passionate individuals who I absolutely love working with, who are experts in their very specific field, and they are super excited, and we're really sad that they couldn't be here this evening, but everyone is just as passionate as each other working on the app.
20 seconds.
Last slide, please. Next slide, please. So where are we today? We are thinking about the future. We're fundraising so that we can fund the features that I mentioned, so that we can fund our ambitions, basically, about where Mini Mealtimes can go. And thank you for listening to this presentation. I've been Marie Farmer, founder of Mini Mealtimes.
Perfect.
Marie, thank you. That was fantastic. I love the diversity of all these. You guys don't even know the in attendance, the next three coming up, but I love the diversity in all of these new companies. We have a 4-minute question and answer period right now. And Marie, I'm going to send it over to you.
Any of our judges want to go first?
I'll jump in. So you talked about app retention rates. Do you mind sharing and no user acquisition costs? Do you mind sharing an estimate of how many users you have and that retention rate of 35%? Is that your 30-day, 60-day, or 90-day for your app retention?
So we average that out monthly, and so we have about 400 active users.
Thanks.
Hi. So I'd love to know, in terms of like taking a step back and getting a little bit high level, what's the strategy long term? How are you looking to monetize off of this in the future? Is it going to be B2B partnerships? You know, what are you thinking?
Yeah, so we're thinking we want to start introducing one-to-one video consultations and potentially in-person ones when that's allowed, as kind of an upsell to the small amount of parents that will be able to afford it that currently use the app. And then we are talking to different food brands to do partnerships so they'll be able to promote their healthy alternatives within the app, going into schools and community centers and nurseries to be able to promote the app. And that's something that we're doing at the moment.
Gotcha. And then lastly, would love to know who your competitors are and what does the competitive landscape look like?
So the competitive landscape, we're pretty good. I feel like we've hit on something in the market that a lot of people haven't picked up on. So of course there are a ton of weaning and recipe apps, like that market is completely saturated. But what we have picked up on is that there is a need for personal and high quality nutrition information, advice that parents really need, and that is not being provided because previously it was too complicated and expensive to action. And that's what we've done, but we've made it affordable and accessible.
I'm going to take one question from the audience from Anne Sullivan. Can you support type 1 diabetic children?
Not currently. The first version of the app, I will admit, is limited in scope in terms of the recommendations because it's the first version, but we have ambitions for people with dietary needs, people with any kind of medical needs, and that's something that we really want to do, and that's part of the reason why we're fundraising, so we can fund those features that parents and people like you are asking about.
Harold, you had another question?
Yeah, I had a quick question about the algorithm that you referenced. Is that a data set? You said you scraped a lot of data. Is this essentially you're scanning the barcode of a package? If I'm a parent and I'm shopping, I scan the package and I'm somehow using data that you all pulled together? Or is that an algorithm you've created? And if so, how many data points have you used to get to this point?
The answer is both. So we've plugged into a database that has, foods, the way you would use the barcode information. We've also pulled in databases about the specific nutrition recommendations for each age range. So there's a lot of data points that we have to factor in before the parent will see that result, but we factor in height, weight, age, gender, physical activity, and we're going to be tweaking that as we go along. It might even, ethnicity might even come into play, water levels, like mood as well. There's so many different data sets that we kind of continue, and it's always important to us that we keep updating it and looking back at our data to make sure it's reliable and as up to date as possible.
Unfortunately, that's all the questions we can take. Please feel free to message Marie Framer, not Marie Roca, with your questions. And again, feel free to follow up as well. I think, would you mind repeating your website? I don't know where I wrote it down, Marie.
It's minimealtimes.com.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening, everyone. I'm going to mute myself again.
Perfect. Marie, thank you. Marie Roca and Marie Farmer, thank you. Okay, up next we have Selina with Paper Grates. Selina, it is your floor.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm Selina Fletcher, founder of Paper Grates. Why Paper Grates, you might ask? Well, it's because you're worth more than good. Next slide, please. So Paper Grates was born out of a desire to marry beauty with sustainability. Eco shouldn't mean ugly, and pretty shouldn't break the bank or the planet. Life is stressful enough, and time is a precious commodity. Convenience shouldn't be a dirty word. Our plan is to move the consumer to kind of a very minimal waste lifestyle without having to sacrifice your style or your schedule. Consumers really want to do the right thing, but they don't always know where to start. And Paper Grates wants to make it easy by removing the stress, the mess, and the guess from the equation. Next slide, please. So the problem became personal for me 4 years ago when I moved in with my sister after her divorce to help with my niece and my nephew. We're two highly capable and organized women. The dishes never seemed to end. So this sent me to the internet to find paper plates that sparked joy and did not kill the planet. I was unsuccessful in my search, and I ended up settling on ugly paper plates that were slightly embarrassing, but they didn't hurt the planet, and they 100% saved my life and my sanity. Upon further research, I realized all of the beautiful and convenient options that I kind of thought would look good in my home or maybe featured on my Instagram, most definitely were going to negatively impact the planet. Next slide, please. So it's the complex coatings that make it difficult to recycle. Think the inside lining of a paper cup. And this coating needs to be separated from the paper. Now, to actually be recycled. So is it just me, or do you think recycling really requires an advanced degree? I stand in front of the recycling bin completely perplexed on which one to use. Then once I make the choice, then I stand there, recycling guilt is real. Next slide, please. So our dishes are nationally recyclable because our only coating is the FDA required by law, food safe coating, and our cups are nationally recyclable because we partnered with TerraCycle. Unlike our competitors who use very tiny print and talk about commercial composting and industrial facilities and just hope we don't ask any extra questions. Our designs also separate us from the crowd because I'm yet to see a design as a kind of design heavy as ours without a coating. So success, next slide, please. Next slide, please. Success looks like more joy in your life, more ease in your life, and a cleaner planet for the next generation. I want to bring more ease and less stress and mess and guess into your life. So let us take something off your plate and put it on ours. Thank you very much for your time.
Awesome, Selina, that is really interesting. We have 4 minutes of question and answer, and Marie Roca, take it away.
All right, judges, you go first.
Hi, Selina. I'm Molly. This obviously this looks beautiful and looks great, but can you tell us a little bit about how the price point might be different than something like the ones I find at the grocery store?
Yes. So the Great Plate is sold in a 50 pack. Pre-COVID, that 50 pack was $39.99. At COVID, in the beginning, I reduced it to 50% off. Now it's 30% off, which basically puts each plate at about 55 cents. If you were to go to the store and buy something like Solo, Chinette, Dixie, you could probably get 55 plates for $5, $10, but those are either going to end up in a landfill or they'd be commercially compostable, which means they have to go to a compost facility. Like you'd have to send them there. And they're also just going to be plain white without a design. If you did a design, let's say you did Mary Mary, that would probably be about 8 plates for around $9, but those are going to have a glossy coating and will also not be recyclable. Unless you separate that coating. And so my price point's kind of in the middle of those of, I'm not at the low end of a Dixie Chinette yet, maybe someday, but I'm, less than the competitors of a Mary Mary, but I'm also eco-friendly.
Thank you. We have a question in the audience from Wesley Bemis. I'm so sorry. Have you patented this manufacturing process in order to prevent larger players from copying your technique?
I'm sorry, have I patented it?
Correct. The manufacturing process.
No, actually, I have not. So actually, there's only a few machines that can do this, and it's a special clamshell machine. And so there are, this plate exists in actually kind of other designs. I fell in love with this plate actually, but it was the ugly version of the plate. And I said, hey, can I make this plate pretty? And so it's not patented, but it doesn't exist in this design. It's a 24-point craft. And what's special about this machine is that it's actually already sealed when you get it and it's nested, as opposed to a lot of other places, like it would be a Chinese food box that you would have to tax your customer to fold it themselves, which is not something I want to do because it's all about, convenience and ease and taking something off your plate, not giving you more work.
Thank you. Harold, you have a question?
Yes, and I'm going to ask these kind of quick, hoping you could be brief because you're awesome at this, and I want to make sure you give us as much information as possible. Are you currently only focused on selling directly to consumer? And if that's the case, what is your channel? Is it to retail or are you selling on your website?
So it's on the website. Pre-COVID, I was in I was doing some business, like kind of direct to business, some small boutiques. I was also on Amazon. COVID hit. Amazon had delays. They were charging really crazy long-term storage fees. Didn't make sense. And especially now with the pandemic. Actually, I've been hitting up trying to see, can I get into restaurant deliveries with food at home, and try to get into kind of that kind of niche to say, hey, you're a business, you're trying to provide a service for people, and I do that as well. So right now it's mostly direct to consumer through my website.
Okay, one last quick question. Hopefully I'm in time. Are you planning to create an IP strategy around creating your designs? Looking at them, I think Lululemon would have something that would make a lot of sense here, and their designs are iconic. Are you thinking about an IP strategy around owning it so that you can have a certain niche in the market to where your plates are iconic and used in certain settings?
Yes, that would be the goal. Right now, it's kind of just me and my designer who, comes in my brain. She writes it out, draws it out. And yes, that is the plan. But I need to do some fundraising for that to happen.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's all the time we have for questions. Again, audience, if you could please reach out to papergrades at papergrades.com, for any additional questions. We'll be including all of the presenters' information as well, so you can follow up with anyone. And since they're pretty diverse, it's kind of hard to mix them up. So hopefully that helps. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Marie, thank you. Selina, thank you. Well done. Okay, fourth up in line, we're going to hear from Veena with Salesbeat. Veena, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Kendra. Hi, everyone. I'm Veena, a co-founder and the CEO of Selesbeat. We are eliminating lost sales in fast-moving consumer goods companies, also known as consumer packaged goods companies. I have 20 years in this industry, consulting for and working in large companies like PepsiCo and Diageo. I used to set up local teams and subsidiaries for fast-moving consumer goods companies globally. In my first sales role, I led the international wine sales team at Diageo to beat their targets for the first time since they were set up by taking a data-driven approach to sales. It may surprise you to know this, but salespeople typically use historical sales data to have discussions around orders and promotions with customers. Next slide, please. And this results in $3 trillion in lost sales due to out of stock. And as you can see in this picture, which was taken during a heat wave, not a single Pepsi on shelf, which results in $20 billion of lost sales for Pepsi in just 1 year. And it happens not just during unexpected heat waves, but each time a social media post trends. These cannot be forecast in the long term, but they can be monitored and acted upon on a timely basis. Next slide, please. CRMs, field sales and merchandising apps, and demand planning apps don't solve this problem. Next slide, please. And this is why we launched Beat. Beat is an app that uses AI to process not just historical sales data, but weather forecasts, memberships and points cards, consumer trends, as well as demographics data to make predictive recommendations on orders and promotions to salespeople so they can then discuss this with the buyer. We launched our MVP in June at the height of COVID. Next slide, please. Despite this, we are in trial discussions with 25 large CPG corporates and have 3 agreed pilots already. In 5 years' time, we expect to generate $106 million in revenues, driven primarily by Beat being used by 23 corporate customers globally. Next slide, please. We are currently raising $750,000 in funding to go towards platform development and sales and marketing, and have $350,000 already committed. We are looking to raise the rest. You already know about me, so on to my co-founder, Alex, who has more than 20 years in startups.
20 seconds.
He has been developing apps, managing web development projects, and advising startups on their tech strategy. Together, we are Selesbeat. We are the future of the fast-moving consumer goods industry. If you would also like to learn more about us or invest in us, email me at veena@salesbeat.co. Happy to answer any questions you might have. Thank you.
Veena, thank you. That is your 3 minutes. Well done. Marie Roca, I'll send it over to you for the 4 minutes of question and answer from the audience and the judges.
I'll start with the audience this time. have you thought of oh, I'm sorry, wrong message. I'm sorry. Do you license the app or collect revenue based on the saved sales?
We charge $149 per month for each salesperson, and we currently don't license the app, but we are looking at developing partnerships and collaborations with consulting firms or teams that implement Salesforce.
Thank you. Judges?
Hi, Veena. Thank you. I'd love to know a little bit more about the total addressable market you have here and what other competitors have tried to solve this previously and what those business models look like.
Right. So first question, which was the total addressable market, that is a $712 billion industry that we are looking at, which is software and digital solutions in this place. And to address your questions about who others are solving this problem, so field sales and merchandising apps are basically looking to solve the problem of lost sales as well. And the way they are going about it is basically sending a message to merchandisers or letting field salespeople know when clubs and restaurants or store shelves at supermarkets are running out of stock. So they can then pick it up from the warehouse or from wholesalers and put it on shelf. And a lot of the times, the problem is that the wholesalers or the warehouses at the customers don't have the stock, which is where we come in. So we make sure that the salespeople sell enough stock into the stores, so the warehouses are stocked, or into wholesalers, so they are stocked. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, a little bit, but would love to dig a little bit deeper or even come out a little bit further and understand like who would be your competitor? Are there any other kind of companies out there that are aggregating this data and pinging retailers to let them know that they need to stock up?
Right, so not at the moment. So there's a lot of apps out there. So for example, Anaplan, they basically process historical sales data and let retailers know and companies know how much to produce so that they are ready with the stocks. And you have field sales app and merchandising apps, which use visual AI to basically detect when the store is running out of stock on shelves. And those are the sort of ways they are coming at the solution. They're not looking at whether the warehouses themselves have stock, which is basically what we look at. So if we are sort of looking at the problem, there's a few different companies trying to solve this problem, but there's just us who are basically approaching the solution in the way that we are. That answers your question.
We have one more question, room for one more question. Molly, did you want to go?
Yeah, Veena, thank you for this. What are you thinking about in terms of I know you said you're looking to fundraise. What are you going to use the money for in the next steps? Like, are you hiring? Do you foresee you'll need a lot of people on the ground? Is it going to be mostly tech? I'm looking for those kinds of thoughts. Yeah.
So it's going 60% towards platform development, roughly, and the rest towards sales and marketing. And we are looking to hire 2 front-end developers, 2 back-end developers, and a data scientist. And on the sales and marketing side, we are looking at hiring a salesperson and a CMO sort of beginning of next year, not right now. And the way we are going about with the sales process is basically through collaborations. So working with consulting firms that are advising companies on their sales intelligence stack, as well as on Salesforce or just how employees should be treated. And you have companies that implement Salesforce for different companies and customize it for them. So we basically collaborate with them so that we can be added on as a solution on top of Salesforce because we integrate with them. And those are the sort of collaborations that we're looking at for sales.
Is that
$750,000?
Sorry,
what was that?
Is that 8 people with $750,000?
Yes, we are a very lean startup.
Okay, cool, got it.
Thank you, Veena.
No problem, thank you.
You can find her at salesbeat.com, is that correct? And
.co, so
I always ruin it with the CO. And again, please feel free to answer the questions in the Q&A, any of the presenters as well. Thank you.
Thanks for all your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Veena. Thank you, Marie. And like Marie said earlier, everyone in the attendance in the audience will get all of the email addresses of all 5 presenters. So if you're scribbling it down and not sure you did it right, don't worry. Okay, last but certainly not least, we have Carolyn with Uncommon Good. Carolyn, take it away. Is she there? Carolyn?
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Okay, try again. Sorry, I'm Carolyn Driscoll, and I'm excited to tell you about Uncommon Good. I founded Uncommon Good to provide nonprofits with the resources they need to amplify their ability to fulfill their missions. Next slide, please. Uncommon Good is a software solution for nonprofits that I was inspired to start because of my dad. He has Alzheimer's, and my family is involved with a small nonprofit run by two incredible women, and they work tirelessly to support the Alzheimer's community. And I thought there had to be a better way to help organizations like them to continue their efforts. Next slide, please. So there are nearly 2 million nonprofits in the US, and 75% are operating on bare bones budgets. 3 out of 10 will be gone within the next 10 years because of the challenges they face today, such as with technology, which can be difficult to navigate and cost prohibitive. Salesforce, for example, for nonprofits can be upwards of $20K just to implement. And most nonprofits are dependent on small donations of $25 to $50, which means they must continuously grow their organization's community for those donations to add up to significant capital. And they rarely have access to all of the relevant data they need to optimally run their organizations. Next slide. So we're a one-stop shop for nonprofits. We are the only platform that's combining B2B and B2C facing services for NPOs. We've got all the tools you would expect from a nonprofit software, as well as additional tools to address such things as guided digital marketing, content creation, and optimized data analytics. Our consumer-facing platform has volunteer and educational resources, as well as large-scale fundraisers and sweepstakes funded by us to help grow the community that we give the nonprofits access to. Uncommon Good is easy to use, economical, and requires minimal human capital to run. Next slide, please. So where are we now? No, the addressable market. Sorry. So the software industry for nonprofits specifically is currently at $10.2 billion and is growing at 10% CAGR. Our solution addresses about 60% of NPO software needs, giving us an addressable market of $5.93 billion. Next slide. Where are we now? So we have successfully closed our seed round. So we are fully funded, which is great. And we will be launching our beta at the end of November, just in time for Giving Tuesday.
20 seconds.
We've already started onboarding nonprofits and will continue to onboard nonprofits throughout our beta, which will run through Q2 of next year. And then we will go into our full market launch. So nonprofits are essential to communities, and Uncommon Good provides them with the tools that they need to not only survive, but thrive. Thank you guys for having me. It's such a pleasure to be a part of this event.
Carolyn, thank you very much. Well done. 4 minutes for your question and answer. Marie Roca, it's all yours.
Thank you. Judges?
I can ask a first one real quick. When you look at who your customer is, I don't know, are you focused on the sub 1 million market? I know
we are. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry.
No, is that the market I saw it highlighted on the slide, but I wasn't sure if that was your specific market.
That is absolutely our market. So, I mean, the reality is that the majority of nonprofits are sub 1 million.
Sure.
And very few software solutions currently are really addressing the unique needs of that sub 1 million market.
Yep. Great. So quick question. So can you help me understand the pricing model? I don't know if I saw it or if you said it.
It wasn't up there. Okay. So currently we will be a subscription model. And then we will also run fundraisers that will be funded by us that we'll take a very small percentage of, but primarily we will be a subscription model, premium, sort of freemium to premium, and keeping the price point low because again, we're working more with volume. We've built the technology to scale and to be able to handle high volumes, because we really want to have a lot of organizations. We don't want to, prohibit anyone from accessing our software. So is that really roundabout? So our software will start at $25 a month.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Thank you. That answers my question.
Long-winded way.
One more question from the audience. Can you break down your SAM, which is serviceable addressable market, for the market you're trying to address?
Yeah, sure. So we are really addressing trying to think of the right answer here, excuse me. So we're clearly addressing a smaller nonprofit, generally in the under 1 million range. And we're solving the majority of their solutions. We are not currently trying to address things like their accounting software. So, we are not dealing with that, or even their video conferencing such as Zoom. So we are really focused more on their marketing, their fundraising, and their CRM, giving us, that addressable market of 5.93 when you look at the whole addressable market of software that is focused for nonprofits, which is 10.2 billion. I'm not sure if that addressed the question. Did that answer that person's question?
Yes.
Okay.
Judges, do you have a question, or else I'll go to the audience?
I have one question. So a couple of years ago, I actually looked at a company in this space. It's called Fontiva, and we really looked at their different competitors, and they were more geared towards events.
Mhm.
And they were catering to many different types of organizations because they figured out that nonprofits was pretty small. So they spread out to even like the Harley Davidson clubs, and they were organizing their events and that sort of thing. So if you are to kind of think about expanding your market a little bit more, if this is going to be too small, what other categories are going to go into, or what other products are you going to add, maybe like events?
Well, we will have events, virtual events as well. So we have a lot of the tools that you have in nonprofit software. And with regards to expanding our market, we actually signed up a few zoos. So zoos are quite excited about our software. We have the Brandywine Zoo in Delaware. So that is one other vertical that we have started to address. We've got the Boy Scouts of America, which you don't necessarily always put into a nonprofit category, even though they are, and they are hundreds and thousands of troops. So that becomes, a very large sort of group of people that we can address. And we've tapped into a lot of student-run organizations. So, we've actually been pretty successful so far with signing up nonprofits and signing up, community-driven organizations.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for questions right now, but feel free again to reach out directly if you have any additional questions. I know that there are still some questions that are unanswered in the Q&A, so please, presenters, feel free to reach out to the audience who are still asking some questions. Thank you.
Awesome. Marie, thank you. Carolyn, well done. Thank you. Okay, audience, did I tell you there was diversity in this group? We have a nutrition app, we have frozen food, we have paperware, a sales app, and nonprofit software. So this is not going to be easy for the judges. Thank you to all 5 of our businesses and our female entrepreneurs. Not going to be easy, as I said. I am going to now ask the judges to please retire for what will be about 6 or 7 minutes in this break, and I will be timing that. But before I turn it over to Holly Hurd, and judges, you can go do your work. Holly, before I turn it over to you, I want everyone in the audience to know, there it is. Look at the slide in front of you. Felicia, our fearless founder, who you'll hear back in the end when she gets her Wi-Fi, her frozen screen figured out, she is generously offering a 1-day free pass for everyone in the audience to come in and experience this amazing place. And if you have not been to Haven here in Darien on the Post Road, it is an amazing co-working space with an inspirational and just great vibe. Men are welcome. Even though it's women-centric, they're of course welcome, and there's many men who come in here and work. We're calling this the Yellow Light Special, but here's what you have to do. You have to email hello@hayven.com by tomorrow, the end of the day, Tuesday end of the day, so jot that down, and then you will get set up with your day pass, and that day pass can be used anytime you want through the end of the year, so December 31, 2020, to come in for the day and check Haven out. Holly, I will now send it over to you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Holly Hurd, Venture Mom, and I profile female founders. And wow, those were some really great pitches. And yes, the judges are going to have a really hard time. So at this point, we are going to ask our audience we're going to ask them for their opinion. So I'm going to ask the Haven team to launch our audience poll. And what you're going to do is you're going to either use your mouse, or if you have a touch screen, you can touch the screen to make your choice. So our first question in the audience poll, based on tonight's presentations, which business is most ready to scale right now? So Fireox, Many Mealtimes, Paper Greats, Salesbeat, or Uncommon Good. We'll go to the next question. You have to think quick. We've only got a few minutes while our judges are contemplating the winners. So our next question is, which two businesses had the clearest and most convincing pitch? So you can click on two. Again, use your mouse or use your touch screen. And our third question, if you had 100 grand to invest, which business would you put your money in? So put your money where your mouth is. Which business would you choose? In a couple of minutes, we're going to see what our audience thought, and then we'll be able to compare it to what our judges thought. So we've had some really amazing women pitch at our last HAYVN Hatches, and my job is to bring you up to date on a couple of them. So founder Hanan pitched a couple of events ago, and she started My Hot Hoods, and it's an app that lets you virtually connect to neighborhoods where you might be looking to move or you want more information on them. So Hanan's app allows you to take a virtual tour of a neighborhood with a realtor. And they are now in the Apple App Store, and they're busy onboarding their app with real estate agents who can use it for their clients who are looking at homes. And they've also added a sharing feature. So if you're looking in one area and you want to share it with your mate or your friend, you can use their sharing feature to do that. So they are a company on the move, and we can say that HAYVN Hatch was there at the beginning. Another HAYVN Hatch presenter that I caught up with is Patricia Trongone. And she had a startup called Patch Organics, and they make multiple flavors of pumpkin seed milk. Now, I have to tell you, at her first pitch, she was a little bit nervous, but our team gave her a lot of support, and we feel that we gave her the confident boost that she needed to actually win that pitch night. Since she first launched, the company is geared up for production with 5 flavors of their pumpkin milk. They have plans to gear up on Shopify and Amazon in time for the holidays. And retail distribution of their pumpkin seed milk is going to begin in January of 2021. And if that's not enough, Patricia has a new allergen-friendly plant-based cookbook. It's entitled Seedlings. So you can pre-order your copy at patchmilk.com. Wow, Patricia is one busy female founder. And we truly believe that Hatch played a pivotal role in giving these women, a boost up for launching their businesses or a launching pad to get to the next level. So if you've been a past presenter, we want you to reach out so that I can keep our audience in the loop and give them an update on what you've done since you pitched at Patch. Okay, I want to talk about the prizes, what the winner and the runner-up are going to win. So we like to believe that our team is all about supporting and helping our winners grow. So to do that, we've come up with a group of experts who will provide input and advice on multiple areas. And the winner and runner-up also are going to get 1-month branch membership at HAYVN. What a beautiful space to start and grow your business. It really is spectacular. And so the team that they're going to get advice from, they'll get emails from all of these people, and they can talk about funding, finance, legal issues, email marketing, social media assessment. We have Kim Barron for branding. Belinda Wasser is going to help you with your business systems. Me, Venture Mom, I will be profiling you. And I also would love to send you a copy of my book. And not only that, our judges tonight have generously offered to give winners feedback on their pitches, because they see a lot of pitches and they can give you some great input. So basically, this prize package is a team of experts for the winners to utilize to grow their business. So what could be better? All right, we've got to get to the audience poll because I think the judges are coming back. So could we see the results quickly of question 1? Okay, wow. Who's most ready to scale? Fire Ox, look at that, 32%. Question 2, let's scroll down. Who had the clearest and most convincing pitch? So Uncommon Good and close, but Paper Greats was the second one. And then if you had $100,000 to invest, where would you put it? Wow, it looks like Salesbeat won that category, but wow, everything is close. It's really close. So Kendra, it's time to see what our judges think. So I'm going to pass it back to you and we can compare it, the judges finalists with the audience. So let's see.
And you know, I always find it interesting because the first couple of hatches, Holly, as you know, that we did live right here in Haven, we didn't do this audience poll because we had the live audience and we could see right away what they were doing. So I always think it's interesting now on our second virtual one to see how closely the audience lines up with the judges. So
yeah, I love that.
With that, Molly, and Harold, are you back and are you ready? Because if you are, we want to see how you came up with your winner and your runner-up. I'm going to ask Harold, because you're our lone testosterone in the house, Harold. So we're going to tip our hat to you and let you do the announcing. Harold, if we would ask you first to announce the runner-up and give us your thought process, if you would, on how the three of you came up with the runner-up and what you liked and sort of the meat and the feedback behind your decision, and then do the same for the winner, if you would. All right, Harold, floor is yours.
Okay, so this has been a very brief diligence conversation. As you all who watched the presentations, they were all really good. And so we had to figure out how to do this and in a short amount of time. So you want me to, Kendra, you'd like me to start with third and then second, or the two runners up and then go to the?
We're only doing the runner-up and the winner.
Okay, all right, cool. So we'll do that. All right, so runner-up and winner. Okay, so the runner-up is, let me pull up the name of the company so I can say it correctly. So we have that great sound bite. Okay, so the runner-up for this event is Paper Greats. Okay.
And what was your thought process behind that, Harold?
I think yeah, so we talked about it. I think that we've all felt the problem about trying to find a product that we liked that was also sustainable for the environment. And each of the judges has felt that they've had a background has had perspective in that if this has the right partnerships and branding as maybe a Lululemon or a Starbucks, there's great opportunity there. And so we picked Paper Greats as this could be one of those products that could end up being really, really big as a company.
All right, awesome. So Selina, congratulations to you. And Holly told you about the prize package. And now, drum roll, please. Harold, if you would announce our virtual 6th Haven Hatch winner of the night.
Yes, and so this one was unanimous for us, which was good. We were able to start with one and then try and figure out the rest from there. But we were all very, very impressed, not only with the team of this one, the founders' knowledge of the market, their application of technology, and how it will be able to impact many businesses that directly impact each of our lives. And so the winner for this Haven Hatch event is Salesbeat.
And give us, okay, so you did give us the rundown. So that was unanimous. That did make it easy in such a quick amount of time, didn't it?
It was not, but I will go with it.
This was very difficult, and I'm sorry we took so long. It was really hard to select, beyond that, because everyone did so well.
I thought, to that point, Marie, I thought all 5 of you, female entrepreneurs, I think you have amazing business plans. I think you all presented fantastically. I hope everyone comes in and uses their day pass, because all of those people who Holly outlined on sort of the board and the prize package, they're in here all the time. And that's what Haven is all about. It is us, rubbing shoulders, networking, and supporting each other. So just coming in here, you will get that. Trust me. You were all impressive. And again, like I said in the beginning of the night, the feedback, good, bad, or indifferent, is really helpful. So please reach out to all 5 of our presenters, you in the audience, and hit them up on their websites, ask some questions. Don't solicit them, but please give them feedback, because we all really want to continue to support all 5 of you. You were fantastic. We are recording the Hatch tonight, just so that everyone knows. So you will be able to watch it again and again and again, and send it to your family and friends and coworkers and wherever you want, to look at your pitches and to just share the HAYVN Hatch word that we hope you'll spread. We already have our next HAYVN Hatch on the calendar, so please jot this down. Monday, January 25th, and we have a pitch deadline of December 14th. So spread the word on that. We're also really excited. If you see on the screen, we are announcing that we are having our very first HAYVN Hatch Let. A HAYVN Hatch Let, pretty obvious, is for young female entrepreneurs, and that's young women between the ages of 16 and 22. We're partnering with 4 fantastic organizations for that: Fairfield County's Community Foundation, the Fund for Women and Girls, the Community Fund of Darien, Youth Community Fund, Kids Helping Kids, and Live Girl. The pitch deadline for our first Hatch Let is November 7th. All of this information is on the HAYVN website. So please, again, spread the word. And we just hope you'll join us. And again, all 5 of you tonight were fantastic. And with that, I am going to send it back over to our fearless founder, Felicia. You there?
Yeah, I'm here. We'll see if we freeze again. Okay, thank you all for coming, and a special thank you to all our judges, presenters, and our HAYVN team for putting together this amazing event. And a special shout out to Kathy Blood for kicking in for me today. Okay, so we're open, and we've created an extremely safe haven. Come in if you feel comfortable, take a tour. By the way, for those who don't know, HAYVN is spelled HAYY, Y in the middle, VN. So, and at HAYVN, we have a bunch of different options. We work the way you do. We have private offices, meeting rooms, hot desks, virtual memberships, and a lot of events, virtually and in-house. So as always, follow us on social media, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. And don't forget, if you want to come in and work here for a day, go on by tomorrow night, email us at hello@hayvn.com for your free day pass. Looking forward to next time. Thanks.